All right, I apologize. I thought I was live for the last 5 minutes, but I wasn't. So I'll start my part over. So if you can't hear me, can't see me, there's an issue with anything, let me know as we're going along. I am going to start by reading a little bit of history about the SAS and kind of CQB in and of itself. I'm in the process of writing something, and I figured I'd just read a portion of that to you to kind of give you an idea of, special forces as it relates to counterterrorism. This thing that I'm writing is kind of centered around CQB, but it's relevant because I start talking about the Iranian embassy siege in this thing that I'm writing. In the wake of Germany's botched hostage rescue, specialized counterterrorism military units were developed as the threat of terrorism grew domestically and abroad. The Germany botched hostage rescue is the Munich massacre. These units included the U.S. Delta Force created in 1977, the French National Guadeloupe Intervention Group GIGN created in 1973, Canada's Joint Task Force 2 JTF2, and DevGRU, commonly known as SEAL Team 6 of the U.S. Navy, established in 1980. At a foundational level, these units needed to be highly trained to carry out assaults. Assaulters specialize and participate in many tasks, including reconnaissance, direct action raids, hostage rescue, and other complex, risky, and classified missions. These units independently developed methods to quickly assault structures, and it's said that they've shared CQB tactics back and forth with one another. So far, we've established that the modern development of CQB began after 1972, and this development took place in response to counter-terror with the implementation of modern weapons. In that, what I just read, I said we've established, but I actually didn't talking to you because that came before the thing that I'm actually writing or reading. So let's go on here. The first well-documented terror hostage situation following the Munich massacre came in 1980 after a group of 6 men stormed the Iranian embassy, which is what we're going to talk about. The subsequent siege was conducted by the British Special Air Service, SAS, on the 6th day during what was codenamed Operation Nimrod. Although the SAS was established in 1941, the development of their counter-terror unit, Counter-Terrorist Wing, CTW, wasn't formed until the early 1970s. Of course, like special units already mentioned, this was done in preparation for possible terror attacks similar to the Munich massacre. The CTW's tactics are centered around their implementation of CQB during a hostage rescue. And I'll say this because I've already put it in the chat. The result of the SAS operation conducted on the Iranian embassy resulted in 17 hostages rescued, 1 hostage killed. There was another hostage killed, but that was before the actual assault. And 5 of the 6 hostage takers were also killed. That's all I'm going to read about that because the rest is going to be in this video. As the video goes along, I'll pause it and talk about a few things that should be obvious in the video, but we'll go back and forth and kind of talk about those things. I appreciate that, Heinz, I think is how you say your name. If you guys are watching this and you enjoy the stream, make sure you are interacting with the chat and liking it, I guess, would help. Thanks.
1:45 p.m. A series of shots are heard from within the embassy, and 5 hours later, a body is dumped outside the door, along with a threat that the militants will kill the rest of the hostages within 30 minutes if their demands are not met. Thatcher and her cabinet understand there's no going back now, and operational control is handed over to the SAS, with Lieutenant Colonel Rose in local command. Rose's plan is codenamed Operation Nimrod. 2 teams.
I should say this, because I didn't say this, but I wanted to. I'm going to play you basically 2 versions of what happened. This first version, it was on YouTube 2 years ago, and the second version is from the actual SAS operators themselves, right? SAS operators themselves. This version also kind of mimics the movie. So I don't know if that's where this came from or what, but I will say that this version, and this uniquely a specific part of this version, which we'll talk about, is not mentioned or spoken about in that same way as the SAS operators recount of actually what happened, which is important.
will assault the embassy at the same time. Red team will storm the 2nd, 3rd and 4th floors from the roof, while blue team will clear the basement, ground and 1st floor from the embassy garden. Both teams must breach at the exact same time to ensure surprise and give the hostages the best chance of survival. Even so, the British government is told by SAS Director de la Billière that the best case scenario is that 40% of the hostages will become casualties. New cameras trained on the embassy catch the SAS teams moving into position and snipers setting up on nearby rooftops. With the UK on a bank holiday, the entire nation is about to watch the rescue operation take place live on their televisions. At 7:23 PM, the code word Hyde Park signals red team to hitch up while blue team moves to breach the back door. 2 minutes later, London Bridge is radioed to the SAS men, and Operation Nimrod begins. A diversionary explosion blows in the 2nd floor skylight, which is also intended to coincide with red and blue team breaching the building. However, Warrant Officer Thomas Goodyear becomes stuck on his abseiling rope, and red team cannot breach the windows using explosives for fear of wounding him. They instead smash the windows and toss stun grenades as snipers fire CS gas into the building. Director de la Billière immediately senses the start of the operation has gone wrong because the teams have failed to synchronize their breaches. The stun grenades ignite the window curtains and the flames set Sergeant Tommy Palmer's gas mask on fire as he enters the building. Despite the CS gas, Palmer tears off his gas mask and leads his 4-man team into the building while slapping at his singed hair. He spots a militant on the other side of the room dousing the carpet with kerosene and points his MP5 submachine gun at him, only for it to jam as he squeezes the trigger. The militant sprints into the hallway with a hand grenade and heads